Hello, good morning. It is morning. Kind of early in the morning. Anyway, I'm here to tell some hmm, some stories. Ooh, I see that this light is a little more in here than I would like. Hang on a second here. There we go. Okay, so we still have the stack of discs. Anyway, we're not doing Amiga things at the moment. Here to talk about after the PET came out. There was a whole lot of people realizing that the PET was going to end up in educational settings. They realized that, the PET is, I don't know, maybe $1,000, whatever. Probably Commodore gave the schools deals. Actually, I think one of the things they did was to basically say if you buy a class set, you get a free teacher's pet. And I have seen a teacher's pet, but I do not have a teacher's pet. But the only real difference was the sticker on the front. That's all it was. Anyway, but a lot of people realizing, okay, these things are going to get into schools, realized there is no way that schools can get like a class set of 24 pets and 24 40 2040 3040 disk drives, whatever. There's just no way. So a lot of people set out to make basically the first sort of networky sharey things that allowed people in a class to be all connected to one disk drive and one printer, or just one disk drive, or one printer, depending. Typically, I think, though, it was something that would let you connect with a printer and a disk drive. And it basically just had the mechanism in there to say that if Jim is saving a program and Steve is wanting to save a program or print something or whatever, that it would just hold the bus and not have the two things come out. Because if you don't have something there and two people try and save or print or whatever, then everything just locks up tight. So there was ComSpec made the I'm trying to think what it was. Anyway, there was something called a Muppet. There was an Arbiter. There was all kinds of things, and I forget the ComSpec name. Microshare. Anyway, lots of companies came up with things that would help in classrooms. And indeed, when I was helping on the movie by the CBC called Hide and Seek, and I was their computer man, even though they got a guy from Waterloo who basically had the script for months and did nothing. Because, it's kind of like, yeah, we hired a mechanic for a Ferrari, but we're using Volkswagens. So the best thing to do is to have somebody who really knows. Yes, Andrew. Andrew, okay? Oh, don't worry, she'll be fine. Anyway, it's best to have somebody, a specialist in Volkswagens, like who really. Anyway, so I really knew the pet, and this Waterloo guy didn't. So he did some stuff, and actually, I can point out whenever I do the series of videos on the movie, the stuff that he did and how. Yes, I fed her. Maybe she wants to be petted. Maybe she wants to be petted. Anyway, so actually, in that movie that I was helping with, I was able to actually use it was the batteries included Arbiter system to save the day in the midst of timing issues where they were trying to have the camera come in onto the screen at just the right time, and then it would start. When they tried a couple of times and the timing wasn't right, because all I was able to do at the time was put in a for next loop to say, okay, how much time do you need? Okay, that's how long it'll be. but at the time it wasn't happening. So they were reloading either the tape or the film, because it was really film, it wasn't digital. And I said, well, I have an idea here. And I've told this story before. So what I did is I turned on another machine. It was a group of 6 computers that had access to one drive. I turned on one that was behind the scenes where they wouldn't see, because this room was supposed to be empty. Turned the brightness on the screen way down so it wouldn't mess with the lighting, and did a quick program to look for the disk status and hold the bus. And I quickly added a thing to the program that actually had to look like it was doing something to also look for the disk status. So anyway, I hid under a desk with my hand up on the space bar, waiting for the cue that I could press and release the bus, which would then... So anyway, I waited for the cue, boom, 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 we got it done in one take. It was beautiful. Anyway, why am I telling you all this? Well, there was another thing, and I remember seeing the ads for it. It was from Sweden, made by Handic, and it was something magical called the VIC-SWITCH. And here is a VIC-SWITCH right there. And if you see, it has some LEDs. By the way, I got this from Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel. It has LEDs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and also has power. And in the back, just a moment, it has the place you plug power in, of course, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it has one out. So I believe the idea behind this magical thing was to make it that you could have it in a classroom and have 8 computers connected to one drive. And I suspect it was to a drive rather than a printer, but I'm not sure. But I guess you could do either one. But it only has one out and 5 ins. And indeed, they're all the serial port connectors. Now, Rudy got this, and he tidied it up some and made it lovely, and he left his sticker. He put his sticker right in the corner. There it is. Anyway, Rudy does all kinds of things. Not just Commodore things. He does all kinds of things on YouTube, as well as Commodore things. He does. So have a look. Rudy's Retro Intel. Anyway, I'm going to set this here on top of the Amiga. So it is here. I have, as I said, I remember seeing the ads for it. I have not seen one in person, and Rudy tells me there's very little on the internet about it. So what I'm going to do, not right here because I don't have space right here, and I have this Amiga thing going on here, is I will set up a test situation. Well, first of all, I guess I'll just hook up a disk drive and I'll hook up a 64 and see if it works. Rudy has been inside. He says it all looks good. And I think he has tidied it and used deoxit and all kinds of stuff in there. So, and apparently when he plugs it in, the power thing lights up. Can I do that right now? Huh. I suppose I can. Let me just pull the power cable out and stretch it out so I can reach an available place. Just a moment. As I said before, I never want to have to fight for plugs. I don't have to. I just might have to stretch it. Okay, so it's plugged in. Oh, look. The power LED is indeed lit up. There it is. Power. So, I will set up a situation to start with one 64 or VIC-20 or 128, or I guess Commodore 16 or plus 4 with one disk drive and just see what happens. And then perhaps I'll go for more. Perhaps. So here it is, the VIC-SWITCH made by Handic. They were from Sweden, and essentially this would allow a classroom to have 8 machines connected to one something. And I suspect it would be a disk drive, but it could have been a printer. It could have been a 1520 printer plotter, or a 1525, or an MPS 801, or a 1526. You know. So I will test all of this at some point. So much thanks to Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel for passing this along. I suspect at some point he will also do some videos on this. We will see. And yeah. Anyway, another handy thing, another, assuming it works, a great thing for allowing lots of kids to have computers, and the school board's able to save money on the, the thing. I mean, there's just no way. Like a 4040 or even a 1541 way back when was an expensive proposition. So it's good that when you sit down in a class of computers that everybody has their own computer and you don't have to share. And it was good. Many of the configurations I remember seeing in classrooms were typically 6, in my case, 6 pets, like 3 by 2 back to back, and then the cables ran down the middle, and at the end there was a couple of tables stuck together, one with a printer, one with a disk drive, and that's pretty much how it went. It is. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the other thing, we had another lab at the school, and it actually sort of had desks in the middle, and it had a whole bunch of like counter all the way around. That's actually the room that I was in when along came the people from this movie looking at rooms and things and stuff, but also asked the teacher, we really need some help, and do you think anybody could help us? Do you think, and the teacher, wisely or unwisely, pointed to him and said, well, I'll talk to him. And that is when, within a few moments, like I saw what they wanted, and being a bulletin board person, I knew, the text comes out a bit at a time at 300 baud, which is 30 characters a second, which is a nice reading speed. And within a few minutes, very few minutes as they were still looking around, I had a quick little something just to show them and say, well, it means something like this. And then, boom, I was hired. Boom. Just like that. Looking back on it, I should have been paid a whole lot more for all the time I put in. But anyway, we'll talk more about that when I do the videos on hide and seek. So we need to test this. Right now, I guess I really need to unplug it and carry on with the day. So thanks for coming. Stay tuned. Much more to come. Bye for now.